Today's video is about Nigel. Nigel can be seen out there. Nigel can be seen in the reflection of those glasses just there. Nigel can be seen in the reflection of my clock. And you can see Nigel at the same time as me, just as long as I turn around. And tomorrow, if you happen to be in Rochdale, you can see Nigel in person. Now, with Nigel being basically sound, yeah, Nigel is basically mechanically sound. With its new cam belt and new water pump and new antifreeze and the head gasket just done, plenty of MOT, good tyres all round, all that kind of thing. It's a good, usable car for classic car shows. Unless you don't think it's a classic. And it isn't really, is it? But it is. Ah, my knee! Oh. But it is different. So for the next 3 hours I shall be preparing little Nigel for its showing tomorrow. I don't think the video will be 3 hours long though. Actually make that 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm actually going to start with these mats, these original Rover rubber mats. I can't even remember what car these came out of originally, but it wasn't that one. But they're rather grey looking and I'd like them to be black like new mats. So that's the first thing I'm going to try and do. There we go, squirty stuff, water, bucket, brush. Those will dry out in no time. Another thing I've been meaning to put back on the back of Nigel for a while now is the 2. You know, the 2 from the 25 to signify it's a Rover 25. That 2. That's the one. You probably think I was just showing off them with all my Rover badges. I was and I'm sorry, I won't do it again. The best thing for sticking these on is that kind of double-sided foam tape, of which I have some, but it's not with my other tapes, so another 10 minutes is probably going to go by while I find it. Now, I found it straight away. Well, that's a neat job of cutting the double-sided tape, but now can I peel it off? Because the trouble I've found with this is the tape sticks to its own backing better than the thing you're sticking it to. There we go. Back to being a Rover 42. Yep, let's not go into it. Just look how much dust is there. That's amazing. All because it's rather dusty yard. Well, there's another hour gone by just vacuuming and cleaning the inside. There's a monkey next door making that noise. Look at that. Fantastic, eh? Found this stuff in a car, so it seems to be reasonably effective on these mats as well as the tyres. I don't normally go for this black tyre stuff, but it does look quite cool. It's time to wash the old boy. I've only got an hour left now, and I've got to do all the locking up down there. But it should be enough to wash a car. I'm just not going to get time to do any buffing or anything like that. Not that it desperately needs it, but I'd like to. I'd like to start my walk around video on this car now, but I'm not finished. I've got a couple of other things to do yet. As the yellow bonnet is staying on this car, I'm going to give Kev this back. And for the first time since the project of Nigel started, he's going to get something gold back. Would you have even noticed that if I hadn't have pointed it out? I'm quite pleased with this. Going to end up spoiling this now by putting car seats in the back. It's nice having a day where I'm not getting my hands full of oil. The thing I like most about days like this is not getting all mucky. Once you start messing with cars, you're never going to have clean hands ever again. All cleaned up and everything in here, it just feels really special now. I don't keep a dirty car, but properly cleaned up, so it's as clean as it gets. It's just fabulous. As I come to close the gate there, I just wanted to have a walk around it again and take more pictures, but you know, there's someone talking to me and I felt a bit stupid, so I didn't. In the morning, I'm taking Nigel to a classic car show. Not a Rover show, but just a normal classic car show. Not a very big one, and I'm going to feel like I don't belong there. But driving a car like this around does tend to make you get used to having people looking at you anyway. So I think it would be fun to see whether, you know, they welcome me or tell me to bugger off. So Nigel and I are on our way into the Ellenroad Classic Car Show right now, and for some reason I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I can't think why. I feel like I'm going for a job interview. Maybe what it is the anticipation of them look at my car and saying, "You can't bring that in here, matey. That's not a classic car." Yes, but it's interesting. Yeah, well, it's not about interesting. It's about being classic. Yeah, but it's interesting. Sling you up, matey. Right. I'm waiting for the senior mustard in the lay-by just here. We're going to go in together and park up next to each other. As the Austin 1300 is a relative to this car, why not? I see a few cars on the way in already, and some police action over there. Good morning.
Covered, isn't it?
Isn't it indeed?
Okay.
I park anywhere?
Well, the guys in the high-vis jackets.
All right, they'll guide me in.
Should find it from the car.
Thank you. Much bigger turnout than expected. For some reason, this little Opel was the first car I wanted to come and have a look at. Maybe it's the orange I like about it so much. Long before even the Streetwise, I think Fiat had this idea of making a rather chunky looking small car. This of course caught on many years later. Isn't it lovely? Yes it is. But this is just huge. This It's possibly the biggest coupe ever, this, isn't it?
Yeah, they are the biggest production coupe, basically. Yeah.
How long is this car?
18 feet 9.
18 feet 9. It's truly amazing. It's about 7 foot wide as well, by the looks of it. I wonder what kind of injury you could do to yourself or to somebody else with those fins on the back of there. The Triumph Dolomite, probably one of the best proportioned small cars ever. I thought this was a Sprint at first, but it's not. It's just an 1858 gel. But that's good enough. It's good enough for me. I used to have one of these. Yes, that is as cool as you can get, especially for a sticker. Interesting to see such an ordinary Metro, Rover 100 here, not been messed around with, and no owner to be seen anywhere, which is a pity really, because I would have quite liked to have tried to chat. Can't have a conversation with that anyway, can you? This rather tired looking old Golf has got a rather special engine in it. And I am promised a test drive of this car very soon. Yep. I really rather like a Porsche 928 actually. The back end reminds me of a character called Repton. It was a game. And then these froggy front lights are quite amusing as well. A rather delightful Honda NSX. The 90s supercar that showed the world that supercars could be cars as well as super. Very interesting car. Very nice. Very red. And it's got an engine. Do you like it? I do. So this has to be the rarest car of the entire show. It is a Rochdale. A Rochdale car. Yes, indeed. It looks almost like some sort of Reliant, but the back end an E-Type Jag. According to how many left, this car doesn't even exist anymore. This Rover 75 is a very special Rover 75. It's owned by somebody who I know, and he saved it from scrap a few years back. And I first met him and his car those few years back at a previous car show, and he absolutely adores the thing, which is why he's still got it. Blue leather seats with the double piping.
Yeah.
And the embossed headrests. It's basically top model connoisseur, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now we're basically into the gangster territory of cars. Not a Jag, but a Daimler, or Daimler, as some people pronounce it. I think I prefer Daimler, but maybe that's wrong. But what a lovely looking car it is. And it does look a bit like a Jag, doesn't it? Yes.
Must be testing one of these.
Did you?
Same year.
There's a big Chevrolet murder machine or something. Looks like the kind of car that appears in a horror film. That's an Escort Rs Turbo. Not really my kind of car, to be absolutely honest, but it's okay. Someone's put a lot of effort into that. Look how shiny that engine bay is. This is a Rover P6. As you may know, I have a bit of a soft spot for Rovers, but this one's rather interesting because, look at that, it is an estate version. I've seen this car kicking about quite a bit, but how cool is that? This rather huge thing, well, it's not huge, it's just tall, is a Packard. Look at that for a bonnet emblem. Imagine impaling yourself on that thing. I reckon that you could do yourself an injury or two. Quite a nice shaped car. Lots of bits added on the end of it. Looks like it's got hair dryers for rear lamps. And now another monster V8 Cadillac Coupe. Very old one. Looks very old. That's quite some patina there. Don't know if it's done deliberately or not, but it really does suit it. Lovely old leather interior there with the buttons and a metal dashboard that you can smash your face in with. Yes, I would very much like a test drive in this car. Oh look, some Fords. Now here is a car that looks like a Triumph TR7, but it's not, because it's a TR8. That is a 3.9 litre V8 engine as found in the SD1. And I am promised a little test drive in this soon.
No, not so.
Yes, indeed. You obviously know what this is. Yes, a Capri 2.8 injection. I used to have one of these, but mine was better because it was covered in rust and therefore just a little bit more authentic. I don't really know what this is. It's a motorbike, or is it a car? Which one is it? Can you really fit two people inside there? Another one of my favourites is the Triumph TR. Yes, it's a proper hairy chested man's car, and in yellow it's even more brave than what it would be in a sensible colour. And now for a Rover 100, or is it a P4, or is it a 100? Whatever the case, it is significantly modified. It's got metallic paint. It does look. It doesn't look wrong, even though it's
No, it don't look
wrong.
wrong. No.
And the diesel engine does look a bit wrong. But then carrying your flask under the bonnet's quite unusual.
It's original, that, believe it or not. It's only
As far as cute little cars go, this is definitely the cutest little car here. Here's a grey Vauxhall from a time before Vauxhalls became rather bland. A classic Mini in red, and inside the chap's girlfriend not saying a great deal. This is quite possibly the oldest Rover that I have ever seen. It's much older than my Rover 25, and it's probably not as nice to drive. This type of Datsun, I'm not sure if it's a 240 or a 220, was the first car I ever saw going exceedingly fast on the motorway. And it looks like it should be doing that right now. Well, it is rather an excellent show, but Nigel's not getting quite the attention he normally gets. But he's having a quiet day.
Tell me a picture I'm charging.
He gets everywhere, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I'll do.
Well, if you hadn't pointed it out, I probably wouldn't have noticed that. Get rid. It's huge.
I'd like it to be as good as I get it.
Do you reckon that's loud?
So what?
Do you reckon it's loud?
Loud. Oh yeah.
It looks a bit like a toy car, actually. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh. I was just talking to David.
I wish more car shows were as local as that one. That made it a very easy decision to make because it's the same distance as work.